going on, you guys? How you doing? Dogg, Anti-Imperial to Chill here. That's my artist name. I'm a recording artist. One name, three personalities. Dogg, Anti-Imperial to Chill. This is Diversity Outspoken. We do this most of the time 9 o'clock p.m. But this is Diversity Outspoken. We call this Diversity Outspoken because we speak about a diverse range of topics, meaning that we speak about anything and everything, and we are outspoken or straight to the point about those topics. So what we're talking about today, we're talking about education in a virtual world. That's the name of this today. It's called Education in a Virtual World. So we want to focus on education, and you guys know we've all been going through the pandemic. We're gonna have a special guest come on. Superstar 617 is gonna come on, but she's really, she's been in the education system for a long time on different levels. Wonderful with teaching and things like that, and she's really in tune with the education process and things like that. So we're gonna have her come on. So I just want to talk about, being that we went through COVID and things like that, and now everything kind of went virtual. Remember, for a while when everything was locked down, everything was like through Zoom and things like that. So now what I want to kind of like go through is because things have opened back up or are opening back up, and now we're going through school and things like that. Or people, students are going back to school and things like that. But a lot of the schooling it's like mostly virtual. Some students are going in person and things like that, but it's mostly virtual. So I just kind of started to wonder about the future of education as far as, it being virtual and things like that. So that's what we're going to do. And let me see if we can go live. It's all good. For sure, for sure. As I said, she's an expert. What's going on? What's going on, sister? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. The one and only ShadeeeSlim, aka Superstar 617. But y'all gotta know her as ShadeeeSlim, because see, this is the thing. She ain't ShadeeeSlim today. She really Superstar 617. But she private with her life, so y'all just gotta know her. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. We not gonna be promoting her Instagram because she don't want y'all to. She don't want y'all all in her business. So it's all good. So right before you were coming on, I was saying that being that we went through the whole thing with the pandemic, COVID-19, and things like that, just throughout the worldwide, and so just being that that's the case and how it was, my question was just kind of like, as things open back up and things like that, what are we going to do with education? I explained to them that you've been in education for a while, and you're an expert when it comes to the education process and the ins and outs of the school system. So
yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. She's the best, you guys. She's the best. So being that's the case, let's start off here. So we went through COVID, and when we were going through COVID, everything was kind of like on lockdown. Right. So while everything was on lockdown, things went strictly virtual. Every Zoom thing was virtual. Everything was Zoom. Everything was virtual. Then, or now, as things have opened back up or are starting to open back up, now we have in the education system, we have where at first it was all education was virtual. All kids were virtual. But now it's like some kids are starting to go back to school a little bit. And some kids are having like is it some days virtual, some days back to school? Is it based on grades? How is it right now?
Well, when in the summer they sent out a parent survey, and then you had the option. You had the option to do virtual, keep your child home, or you can send your child to school full time, like 5 days a week, the full day. And then they had a third option, which was some days virtual and some days online. I mean, at home. But they no longer have that third option. So it's either they're in school or they're not. That's it. That's the two choices that you have.
So the parents that don't want that are tired of their kids are sending to school, and the parents that's like, oh, my kids ain't that bad.
I didn't say that.
Or the parents where the kids is like, Mom, I ain't going back. It's just like, all right, fine. I'm tired of arguing with you. You can stay home. That's basically what's going on. All right, so it's good you brought up the parents. Or we're talking about parents, letting their kids go back to school, or letting their kids, or allowing their kids to stay home. Because when it comes to parents, because I just know, just like, growing up and just things like that, I know for forever, teachers have begged for more parental interaction, I should say, as far as teachers can call me for forever, for decades, for a century. Teachers have been calling home, not for a century, but teachers have been calling home and been like, hey, you know, little Johnny did this in school, and they can't get the parent on the phone, or the parent like never. They try to schedule like teacher-parent meetings, and they can barely get the parent. Now it might be different for like younger kids, for like elementary and things like that. It might be like more often where you can get the parents involved. But I know once kids hit like high school, the parents is like, man, I ain't about to come out and talk to them about this crazy boy. Like, this boy driving me crazy. I ain't about to go out and talk to him. So I know for a long time it's been where parents, where teachers were frustrated because they couldn't get parents, you know, interacting with the child's education the way that they wanted to. So my question to you is, now that things have been virtual and you're there and you're on the computer and you're seeing the child, the child's at home and things like that, parents, I'm assuming, have become more involved, and even more involved to where, like, so I think before it was like the teacher was like, man, the parent involvement is way down here. I can at least get it up here, I'd be good. But I think with the virtual, the parent involvement sometimes goes up to here. She's like, oh no, bring it back down to here, because now parents have opinions about everything. They have opinions about how you teach. They question what you're teaching. And so, speak on that a little bit. The parent involvement.
Yeah, we definitely now have parental involvement, and there's like two sides of the coin. Like, you still have some that all the parent does is just log them on, and then, you know, we're Zooming, so we're doing video conferencing, and then next thing you know, the kid camera goes off, the mic goes off, and then I don't see the kid the rest of the day. So I'd be like, hey, you know, buddy, turn your camera on. I want to see your lovely face, and that camera's not going on. So I'm just like, okay. So that parent is still probably like, I don't want to be bothered. Like, whatever, we're gonna put her on because she's gonna keep calling the house. If I don't log them on, we call the house, like three different teachers calling and be like, hey, is Johnny okay? I noticed that he hasn't been in school, his attendance. So we have those parents that just log them on. And
so say hi to boss lady and Mota, because they just chimed in and said hi.
Hey ladies. But and then we have the other parents that they sit there your whole entire lesson. So, for example, I'm on 3 hours, like straight, nonstop. Like, I give them a break every hour. We do a 10-15-minute break. I play music, YouTube videos, and things like that, so they can just get up and drink and go to the bathroom and all that. So you have parents there your whole entire time. So although I see the kid, I know the parent is like right there. Because if I call on Johnny, be like, hey, Johnny, what do you think about the story we just read? And then he'll look, you know, he's looking to the side, he's looking at somebody. So and then sometimes you even hear the parent telling them to be like, hey, tell her you liked it. And Johnny be like, I liked it. And I'm like, and you know what? Honestly, I've been asked that question a lot. I've been asked, like, well, how does it feel to have the parents like in your classroom? Like, pretty much they're there, and now it's not like any privacy. It's not like, okay, it's just me and the kid. And now the parents get a peek of what I do. I said, well, for me, I'm always going to be respectful to their kids, so it don't make a difference to me. So they can sit the whole time out. She can sit in, if she wants to sit next to Johnny and be in the camera, I'm okay with it, because I still wouldn't do nothing different than if I was in the classroom. Like, some teachers may have a problem with that, so I don't. But those what we have the ones that are log them on, and the kid, you don't see nothing. The kid don't answer, you don't speak, probably still asleep, and the mom's just like, well, let me get on so that she'll be quiet and she won't be calling my house. And then you have the other one where the kid is there and the parents are like right there, you know, right there in the corner, out of the view of the camera. And then, you know, you have some that have to be independent. So they have to get on by themselves because their parents are like in the other room working as well. So they can't be sitting there like, you know, kind of spoon feeding answers. So those are the experiences so far.
Well, it's good. Well, first of all, you're good at what you do, so you don't have to like fake. You don't have to fake things, and you don't have to like show for the parents. Same way, like if you were, you know, if you're doing what you're doing, if you're a teacher and doing what you're doing, and things like that, you don't have to like you know, you don't have to like put on a dog and pony show when like the principal walks in or things like that, because you're always doing the right thing, because you're, you know,
I'm not. I'm not putting on no show. What you see is what you get. So you either like it
but you're always doing the
or you're
right
gonna
thing.
love
What you
it.
see is what you get is good when it comes to you. So, you know, this
Exactly.
is
Like
how
I
that
said, you
is.
either gonna like it or you're gonna love it. Like that's the only options when it comes to me.
Man, so that is interesting that how for so long, you know, we like teachers were asking parents to get more involved up to here, and now they're like up to here. You got it up to here with the parents. It's
But
all
you
good.
still have those ones that weren't involved. They're still not involved online. Like
It's
before,
great.
um, our school was a system. We would be like, okay, so if you having a problem logging in to Zoom, just call the school and we're gonna mark them present for the
Mhm.
day, because we had a lot of issues. So then the parents just like, well, I'm gonna just call the school and act like I tried to get on and I couldn't. So now they changed it and be like, no, you need to contact the teacher. Your child needs to be in class. So we're no longer giving them excused absences for them not even showing up. So then those are the parents that are just gonna be like, okay, you better sit here, don't say nothing. That camera don't, I don't care what she say, do not turn that camera on. Do not unmute that mic.
Yeah.
And this is it. And then I have some parents that are like, okay, when can I send them back? I was like, well, you
You
selected
chose
online.
you chose the online thing. Now they want to change
Yeah.
their mind.
They're like, listen, this is too hard. So that's what.
Let me just say real quick, a shout out to MJ Cardona. MJ, I see you. What's going on, sister? Good to see you. But yeah,
Hey,
so
how you
that's
doing?
crazy. They want to change their mind, because every parent had ample time to choose. Either I'm going to send my kid back to school, or we're going to do virtual school for the year, basically.
Yeah. And they sent the surveys out starting in July. So
Uh-huh.
then they kept sending them. So when August rolled around and we knew our new return date, they were like, okay, this is the time now. What is the choice? And if you did not choose, they will call in your house and like,
Yeah.
okay, is it physical or is it online? So, a lot of parents chose online because of the safety of their child. But then when you get online and you're like really doing online work,
The
like you
child's
need to
out
know
there
how to
crazy.
use
The
these
child like,
programs.
mommy, you got to help me with this. You got to help me with this.
Yeah, and they're like,
They're like,
ask your teacher. And I'm like, well, if you're home and you don't know how to get on the Zoom, like I'm not there. It's not like I can. You got to figure me. I'm like, you got to figure it out because this is online. So all you got to figure out how to turn in your work online. You got to figure out how to be in my class online. You got to figure out how to answer your questions online. Like my worksheet, everything is uploaded to the computer. So those are the issues, the frustration from the families.
so you had, because what I'm hearing is also, so you had parents that chose online, so they chose to do it through Zoom, but there's probably a certain number of parents that just are not like, technologically like astute, and therefore they probably have complaints about, getting on Zoom and things like that. And you probably have parents that don't even know, which we spoke about before. I did a diversity outspoken on them before, that just don't know that when you're on these virtual platforms, it's always recording you, and therefore, no matter what you say and what you do and things like that, people can see you as recording you. And so, you speak on those couple of things with parents not really knowing like how to be, the technology to get on. They chose online, but then they don't know the technology to be able to fundamentally go through it, and them being online and not knowing that they're being watched and they're being listened to at all times.
Yeah, and well, the biggest issue is that sometimes it's not the parent, it's the grandparents, because the parents have to go back to work.
They have to go to
And
work.
your grandparents, our grandparents are not as technically savvy as the parents. So if you have grandma that's like 60, 70 years old, and
Yeah.
she be like, you can stay on, be yelling, I don't know how to connect. And then in the background, it be so much stuff sometimes going on.
Things going
Sometimes I'll be
on.
like, please yeah, and then sometimes I'm like, just please turn your camera, leave it off until I call on you, Johnny, because
There's a lot
there
going on in
be,
the
there be stuff
background.
going on in the background. Like parents, they got to be careful because like you walk by, they be scratching their butt, they be doing all types, yelling in the background. Stuff.
This is another example, people. When you are on these virtual platforms, People can see and hear everything you're doing. Stop walking around the house naked when you know
Yeah.
your kid's supposed to be in school. Stop
I
cursing
haven't had
people
that.
out.
Yeah, I haven't had that personally, but I have had the cursing. Because, like, a lot of times when you first get onto Zoom, the mics are unmuted. So you
Yeah,
hear all of the background.
that's
And
right. When you first get on Zoom, you got to mute your mic automatically because
right.
it comes on
But then
unmuted. That's
yeah,
right.
but it's a few seconds there before you get to click that mute that you I be hearing a lot of stuff. So I just be like, um I just try not to bring attention to it because I'm like, well, maybe the kids, like if the other parents don't say anything, so I won't be like, Johnny, tell your mom to stop crying. I don't say that. I just be like, okay, if they're
Tell
too
your
slow
mom to
muting
stop
their mic, yeah. If they're too slow muting the mic, I will mute their mic and be like, okay, I unmute it when I need you to speak. But be careful of that also. When you're first connecting, because sometimes, when we left Zoom, it was muted, but then when you reconnect,
Yeah.
that mic is live. Just like the newscasters and stuff, like that mic is live and it's hot, and we hear everything that's going on.
MJ Cardona says she said first of all she's glad that her kids are adults now, they don't have to go through this. Second of all, she says that she thinks parents should be taught, and then third of all, she says that she's been guilty of this in the past. So but shout out MJ, we love you, sister, and we're not going to ask which one you've been guilty of because we spoke about a lot of different things. We spoke about walking around naked. We spoke about the cursing. We're not going to ask which one you've been guilty of. We're just going to say you've been guilty of something.
Something. We
But we're
don't
going to
want to
keep our
know,
mind, keep our mind in a good, positive space right now. But let me ask you
Mm-hmm.
this. It's been a good thing, and we're almost done, you guys. We just want to come on for like a half an hour today. We're going to continue this. I actually called, if you guys saw what was named when we were coming on, it's called Education in the Virtual World Part 1. I called it Part 1 because we're going to do this, we're going to talk about more of this stuff. I'm going to go deeper with more questions that I have written down that we're not going to get into tonight. But, or tonight, whatever. But let me ask you this then. Being that with the whole thing with parents and cursing and things like that or whatever in the background, do you think that there could be a day in the future where parents could get arrested, parents could get child protection problems and things like that based on the recorded Zoom stuff that, because the Zoom through the school and stuff like that, it allows basically a recorded document of what goes on in somebody's household where you've never seen that before. You've never seen the inside of a lot of these people's houses and how their houses are conducted and things like that.
Right. Well, with Zoom, first of all, we in order for it to record, for me, I have to press the record button, so it doesn't just automatically start recording as soon as we get on. So then that provides for me when I'm recording, I will let the kids and the parents know that okay, this part of the learning is going to be recorded. So hopefully that just gives them an indicator to be like, okay, let me not incriminate myself. Let me not be doing things in the background. But I don't know if every teacher gives that courtesy. Some teachers probably just as soon as they get on and record it.
Well, let me ask you this. Right now, school systems use Zoom because it's new. So they weren't prepared for this. But eventually, the school system always wants to have full control over their thing.
Right.
So I would think that eventually, a couple years, the school system will either have Zoom or somebody give the school system their own personal virtual system to where they control it. To where it's like, because the school system usually try to control everything they possibly can, in my opinion. And I don't think that the school system would want to have teachers, even if it's not to look at the parents, but I think the school system wants to be able to look at the teachers when they want to.
Well,
So you don't think the school system would one day create their own system to where as soon as you get on your computer, you're being watched?
Well, it may possibly be because we already have cameras in the schools. But as far as cameras in individual classrooms, those we don't have that. Not recording cameras. We have cameras so that we can, of course, link up and conduct our Zoom sessions, our Zoom teaching. But as far as like a camera video, like taping me, we don't have that in the schools yet. So physically in the hallways, certain areas of the school, there are cameras, so you're being watched anyways. So as far as it going back to videotaping, like in a few years, I don't know. It may, because we
Shout
already
out
have
to
it for
Canada. Shout out
security
to
reasons.
Canada. Dab and Nana. Shout out to Canada in the house. But I think that that's going to be coming because first of all, you guys have like for example, don't you guys use like an intranet, right?
Yes,
Not an internet. You guys use like an intranet to where
internet. We don't
to where
system.
everything that you search online is they know what you're searching.
Right.
So they know like if you go and search like, some type of racist thing or porn, whatever it is, they know, right? On your computer.
Right.
I
They can
don't
track
think
it.
I don't think that the school system is gonna do that, but using this virtual camera through your computer and things like that, they're not going to want to control that. I think they want to have sight on everything a teacher does.
But they don't have sight right now. So like
But because it's
eventually
new, because it's
right.
new. But I think that
Eventually
after
they
like
may.
next year, a couple of years, they're going to be like, all right, boom, like we were caught off guard. We had to use Zoom. Let's kill the Zoom contract. Let's get our own thing in. Let's get a group to come in and do our own thing, like kind of like an intranet camera system to
Mm-hmm.
where we can watch teachers, all the time, and teachers can't turn off their camera so we don't see what they're doing and things like that. I just think that the school system likes to have more control, and I think when that becomes a situation, I just think that in years to come, we're gonna start to see, not you, but all of us, we're gonna all start to see stories come out like, oh, you know, teacher forgot to turn off the camera in his or her room, caught having sex with a student, or teacher forgot to turn off his or her camera, caught saying racist comments to the students. Teacher thought camera was turned off.
Well, you know what?
I think it's gonna be
We
like
are
that.
we there are cases like that, but it's not necessarily the school doing it. But kids have these cell phones, so they come in there and they be ready. You could tell, especially on the high school level, not so much on elementary, because they're just kind of like too innocent. They really don't
Yeah,
know,
they don't know yet
but
how to be
high
as
schoolers.
devious as high school kids. High school kids are devious.
Yeah, because I feel like, because I have a high schooler that's about to graduate. So I feel like I just hear the conversation sometimes, and I be knowing like the next day I know they got some plan for that teacher. They're gonna give that lady a hard time, and they probably gonna be like, "Okay, record it, dog." Cause he'll show me the video, and I was like, "Why your friend doing that?" I said, "So y'all went in there knowing you was gonna confront this lady and put her in a compromised situation, so that." She don't even know that she being videotaped, because the kids are in their seats with their own phones, and they're just like, look, look, look. And you hear their conversation, and then the kid out there, going. And we've seen that too. We've seen teachers be attacked by students, and it wasn't recorded by the school. It's recorded by other students in the classroom that sent the video out, and that's
Yeah.
how we knew what was going on. We've seen, like you say, teachers saying inappropriate stuff. It wasn't because of the school system, is because the kids are. So I'm like that. I'm already like that. I'm like, listen, on the
Absolutely.
elementary level, we have cases where parents put recording devices in the book bags because they want to hear and want to know. So I'm just like, I have nothing to hide. Whatever I say when you're not around is what I say when you are around. So I just tell
I think it's
educators.
gonna be exactly everything you just said that's always been going around, but now there's gonna be another layer of things.
Another layer,
It's just gonna be
another layer to
another
be like,
layer of
uh,
of spying going on the teachers.
yeah, but then it's like, if you have like, if they do add that layer, and then it comes out a lot of negative stuff that like teachers are saying or just stuff they're doing. You're gonna be like, see, that's how them teachers be, and then it's gonna be just added already to the
I
disrespect
know.
that teachers have
I know.
already. So it's like, so we gotta just be like mindful of that too, because we just don't, you know, don't know. Just
Yeah.
don't know how it's gonna be with
I
that. It's like videotaping like everything, and then sometimes it's taken out of context. But I you know what? I think now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about it. If we do, if the schools videotape it, like say they videotape my whole day, then it's not like it'll be edited. Like kids edit things, so then it could be just taken out of context, and we don't know what happened before
so it
this
might be a blessing.
meeting. It might be, because it could probably save some people job, because them kids don't show when they went in there and be like, watch, you know, when they
Yeah.
when they walk in the
Yeah.
door, they be looking back like, yeah, watch when I walk up in here, and then they say all this stuff, and then they videotape when the teacher going up, oh, look at it, but you know, so
Yeah.
it might be,
It might be a blessing.
it
It
might be
might
a
be a
good
blessing in
thing.
disguise. Just want to say, so Davin, our friend from Canada, Davin Nana said, smart TV is a computer and microphone. Definitely, Davin. You know, we're talking about virtual education and things like that, and how like kids doing virtual schools, how like that's going to affect teachers. And curly head Alana said hi. Curly head Alana, what's going on, sister? How you doing? It's all good. But yeah, man. Like I said, we just want to come on real quick. I think it might be a blessing. It might be a blessing. This is the thing. Whenever it comes down to, if you're catching the real deal of what happened, then we can't complain. Because if you're catching the whole thing, whether you're right or whether you're wrong, it was the truth. That was reality. So as long as it's catching reality, at the end of the day, hey, it is what it is. Because we have people like, you know, like ShadeeeSlim here who have nothing to worry about. Go ahead, Shadee.
But then I forgot, I was thinking back to the question you asked about parents, that since we are Zooming, and then teachers we see inside their homes, it could be something for them too, to be like, okay, this child is not safe at home. This child does need some support, because whatever's going on at home is not good for the children. So it's with this, there's cameras everywhere anyways, but with this Zooming, and especially being able to see inside their home, you can see how the cleanliness of it, you can see you can just see the children, how they interact, because their siblings are like in the background. Usually when one child is virtual, the whole family is, all the kids are virtual, so then you just see that, you just see everything.
Which is why I
So
really believe that in the future we're going to have news stories that come out that say, oh, you know, Department of Children and Families was called out because, you know, teacher, you know, witness on a Zoom, you know, session that, you know, the parent's house was this or that, or the parent did this or that, or, you know, there was drugs in the back on the table, or things like that. I think that with these parents having this virtual schooling in their homes, they need to be really careful, because you're giving an insight to your house that usually normally all these other years and decades nobody's ever seen. So you got to be really, really careful about that.
And then in a way they were kind of protected, because as long as the kid came to school, and you know those conversations, you know, especially in African American culture, like, what, don't go talking about what happened in our house. Like, what happens in our house stays in our house. So, you know, you're kind of told that from, you know, at a young age. So you just kind of knew that, okay, if something going down, I better not say nothing in school, or the parents, like, if they knew they did something wrong, or if they maybe like beat the child and it left a mark, they would keep the child home until it kind of cleared up. So then they would still kind of protect and be like, oh, he was sick or she was sick, so, you know, I'll send her back when she feels better. But now, I mean, I know, I hope they don't beat the children on camera. I've never seen them get beat on camera.
I don't think that would happen, but you will see. I think what you're going to see is through virtual education, I think you'll see a lot of things come up where like news stories come up, or maybe just parents getting reported about, like, you know, because some parents can't hold their cool, right? So they'll curse the kids out like dogs. They'll smack them in the back of the head. They'll tell them shit, like just all type of stuff. You know what I mean? Boss Lady joined us again. And Robbie Joe, I see you, Robbie Joe. It's all good. But yeah, I just think that parents, just be careful with this new Zoom situation. Teachers, be careful with this new virtual school situation. This was part one, you guys. Part one of education in the virtual world. We will have part two on a later date. We will be trying to get Superstar 617, aka ShadeeeSlim, back as much as possible.
I'll come back. I'll be back.
Her schedule, we have to work her schedule out. Her schedule.
You know, I'm a wanted lady. I'm a wanted lady.
You know what I mean? We be having to get her to escape from the. We have to get her to the grand escape. You know what I mean? But
you know what? Wait. You know, I'm not gonna let that slide. You see how you be starting?
We're not even with us tonight. We're gonna have to. We got. You know what I'm saying? What time? How much? See how you be starting. That's you. You the one talking about. Only 30 minutes. Only 30 minutes. Like, see, you guys gotta understand. We've been friends for a very long time. We've been friends like over 20 years, so we can do this type of stuff. It's all good. It's all good. I am Dogg, Anti-Imperial to chill, you guys. This is Diversity Outspoken. That is ShadeeeSlim, aka Superstar 617. I call myself Dogg, Anti-Imperial to chill because one name, three personalities. Dogg. Dogg's kind of like a thug, a gangster. He's a nerd. He's a dork and things like that. Anti-Imperial is all about education, international political science, micro and macroeconomics, philosophy, psychology, sociology, physiology, and things like that. And the chill is a hopeless romantic, all about falling in love and things like that. This is Diversity Outspoken. You guys, we call this Diversity Outspoken because we speak about a diverse range of topics, meaning that we speak about anything and everything, and we are outspoken or straight to the point about those topics. Boss Lady says, beautiful smile. We appreciate it, Boss Lady. Thank you very much. It's all good. You guys, you can check me out. You guys can follow me. Check me out on Instagram and on TikTok. Love you, Boss Lady, on Instagram and on TikTok and Patreon, you guys. On Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon, it is at Anti-Imperial. Anti-Imperial on Instagram, TikTok, and on Patreon. And on YouTube, you guys can follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to that YouTube. Why are you not subscribed to that YouTube? Love you, Boss Lady. Love you. Why are you not subscribed to that YouTube? On YouTube, you guys can follow me on YouTube. You guys subscribe to my YouTube at Anti-Imperial, no underscore. So Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon at Anti_. Don't get that underscore. Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon. Don't get that underscore. YouTube, forget the underscore. YouTube is just Anti-Imperial with a space in between. YouTube, Anti-Imperial with a space in between. Instagram, TikTok, Patreon. Use the underscore. Anti_Imperial. Instagram, TikTok, Patreon. You guys, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. This was part one of Education in the Virtual World. We will have a part two later on down the line, you guys, but we will have Superstar 617, aka ShadeeeSlim, back. We have a plethora of topics we're going to be going through, you guys. Superstar, love you, sister. ShadeeeSlim, love you. All good. Looking beautiful as always. You guys take care. Have a great day, a great night, depending on where you are in the world. You guys take care, you guys. All right. Bye-bye. Peace.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye-bye. Have a good night.